In the field of logistics, not every journey is as simple as going from point A to point B. Some missions require exceptional technique, absolute precision, and nerves of steel, where every inch matters and every turn carries enormous risk. When size and weight exceed standard limits, transportation becomes a formidable challenge. It's not just the job of a driver, but a symphony of coordination between humans, technology, and strategy. Oversized hauls are not merely about logistics. They are testaments to human skill. One of the biggest challenges in oversized transport is navigating through urban environments, where narrow roads, sharp corners, and countless obstacles await. Trucks stretching dozens of meters long and standing as tall as small buildings must maneuver through tight spaces without a margin for error. To achieve this, drivers need exceptional skills, often assisted by hydraulic steering systems that allow rear wheels to turn in sync. Everything is calculated in advance, from bridge clearances and roadside distances to coordinating escort vehicles and managing rear support. In the heart of a bustling city, where every square meter is as precious as gold, narrow winding streets, never designed for oversized vehicles, become the battleground for drivers of super-heavy, over-length trucks. Each turn of the wheel is no longer a simple maneuver. It becomes a masterful performance of precision and finesse. Tight corners, constricted lanes, power poles, sidewalk railings, and rogue motorbikes all pose deadly challenges. In spaces so cramped they seem impossible to navigate, drivers must guide loads stretching over 25 meters and weighing up to 80 tons with centimeter-level accuracy, not just to get through, but to avoid disrupting the fragile urban flow. This isn't driving, it's choreography. It's a synchronized dance between eyes, hands, and brain, a metallic waltz amid a jungle of concrete and steel. Operating a super heavy truck in the city is like forcing a shipping container through a wardrobe door. These behemoths, often 3 times the length of a bus, carrying equipment or steel structures weighing dozens of tons, are forced to navigate roads never built to support them. In one real-world example in District 7, just turning from a main road into a 10-meter-wide alley took over 25 minutes, with 7 precise reverse-forward adjustments and the coordination of 3 spotters. One wrong move and the truck could scrape a house or paralyze traffic for hours. That's why success in this domain demands not just driving skill, but nerves of steel and the cold precision of a machine, where every movement is a decision between order and chaos. On streets barely 4 meters wide, flanked by parked scooters and tangled overhead wires, maneuvering an oversized truck feels more like solving a real-time urban riddle. Reversing into a job site might require 2 or more ground guides, precise steering at just the right moment, avoiding tail swing collisions with gates, front-end scrapes on curbs, and undercarriage contact with potholes. Sometimes hydraulic trailers are deployed to adjust vehicle height on the fly. High-tech solutions that, without experience, can still fall victim to the city's spatial traps. In such conditions, every move is backed by thousands of hours behind the wheel, and each turn is a calculated decoding of tight city limits, made possible only through sweat, steel, and absolute respect for every centimeter of the road. Beyond city streets, many routes cut through hills, muddy tracks, snow-covered roads, or incomplete construction zones. With cargo weighing hundreds of tons, even a 10-degree incline or a soggy dirt path can become a make-or-break moment. Support vehicles such as pullers, excavators, or custom winches often come into play. Drivers must stay calm, think fast, and judge the ground conditions perfectly to avoid getting stuck, tipping over, or damaging the route infrastructure. Not every superload journey takes place on smooth paved highways. Some missions, like transporting massive power station components, wind turbine frames, or heavy industrial machinery, demand venturing deep into rugged, unnamed mountain trails. In Vietnam's Central Highlands, one such operation involved hauling a 70-ton rotor over 20 meters long up a remote hill. The journey took 14 hours to cover just 17 kilometers. The road was muddy with inclines of up to 14 degrees, flanked by cliffs and unstable embankments. Hydraulic trailers were used to constantly adjust the load's center of gravity in response to the terrain. Here, the driver doesn't merely steer, they negotiate with the land, the weather, and gravity itself. A single wheel slipping even a few dozen centimeters could send the entire convoy into a ravine. Every meter gained is a victory against wild nature. In northern mountain regions during winter, roads at altitudes above 1,200 meters become brutal testing grounds, as snow covers the surface and turns it into an ice rink. On one mission to transport oversized industrial equipment from Lao Cai to an industrial zone near Sapa, a 30-meter-long convoy was equipped with heated hydraulic undercarriage systems, special anti-slip chains on both front and rear wheels, and accompanied by a technical team clearing snow, spreading salt, and adjusting load weight at each curve. On steep inclines, the trucks paused to check brake temperatures and tire pressure. Any miscalculation could lead to brake freeze or skidding. In -4 degrees Celsius conditions, drivers not only battle the terrain but must overcome the limits of their own endurance. This is a place where skill alone isn't enough. You need sheer grit. In southern hill regions during the rainy season, roads to wind farm construction sites often turn into rivers of red clay, swallowing tires nearly 1.4 meters high. Oversized trucks carrying 60-meter-long turbine blades must move through mud that reaches halfway up the wheels. No asphalt, no firm traction. Technology helps, but it's not everything. Drivers deploy load distribution tactics, lowering tire pressure to increase ground contact area, and adjusting the hydraulic system to stay balanced. At times, it takes 30 minutes to cover just 100 meters, with teams laying wooden planks, guiding the vehicle inch by inch, and keeping recovery trucks on standby. This isn't just transportation, it's terrain conquest. One wrong move and the entire convoy could sink. In the Midland Hills of northern Vietnam, narrow mountain roads wind up steep ridges with no guardrails and gradients up to 18 degrees. With just 40 centimeters between the truck's tires and a cliff edge, a 28-meter, 95-ton steel beam is transported on what's known as a headtail climb. The cab ascends while the trailer is still below. Managing traction, braking force, and center of gravity becomes a mechanical miracle. Drivers must steer according to the exact curvature of terrain maps, supported by GPS teams, onboard cameras, and even drones monitoring from above. On sharp Z-shaped bends, the truck may need to reverse and adjust up to 5 times, moving only centimeters at a time. Driving in these conditions isn't about technique anymore. It's pure instinct. The kind that knows exactly how wide the vehicle is, how much it sways, how far it can slip, just enough to survive between earth and sky. Snow isn't always beautiful, especially on icy mountain roads in northern Vietnam, where frozen terrain turns into a survival test for heavy haulage crews. The surface may look safe, but a thin, invisible layer of ice makes even massive truck tires lose grip instantly. Climbing passes like O Quy Ho, Mum Pi Ling, or Tram Tao in temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius, 25 to 30 meter long superloads weighing nearly 100 tons, face a host of new enemies. Frozen hydraulic fluid, brittle tires, braking systems prone to seizing. Drivers must stop every 3 to 5 kilometers to warm up hydraulics, check brake temperature, and swap out brake pads. Snow chains and anti-slip mats are standard, but the most critical component is the human inside the cab, who cannot afford a shaky hand or a moment of hesitation. On these roads, mistakes don't just delay the job, they end it. Ice doesn't forgive. During the rainy season in remote southern or central highland areas, many access roads to energy sites are little more than compacted soil, turning into deep mud when it rains. These mud pits can swallow half the height of a truck's massive tires. A 30-meter-long superload, weighing close to 100 tons, crawls like a mechanical behemoth, sinking with every move. Drivers shift from steering to strategic maneuvering, selecting paths based on natural slope, laying wooden planks to prevent wheel sink, lowering tire pressure to boost traction, and controlling the throttle with surgical precision to avoid spinning out. At times, forward motion stalls completely, requiring support vehicles, excavators, and technical crews to help extricate the truck. Progressing just 500 meters can take over 6 hours, with dozens of stops for rebalancing, wheel chocking, and surface reinforcement. This is no longer just transport, this is tactical combat with nature, where every meter is earned, not given. Some routes through mountainous regions are engineering marvels in themselves. Narrow, winding paths where the trailer barely fits, and every turn requires a perfect calculation. A 30-meter trailer carrying a massive steel girder twists along hairpin bends where the front of the truck exits the curve while the rear hasn't even entered. The road slope changes unpredictably, forcing hydraulic trailer systems to constantly adjust wheel height for balance. Ahead of each tight curve, the convoy pauses while a technical team measures angles, removes obstacles, trims trees, even temporarily dismantles road signs or utility poles. Reversing and repositioning is done in painstaking 30 to 50 centimeter increments. On some roads, the truck may perform dozens of such micro-adjustments just to turn a corner. The driver becomes more than a driver. They are a spatial strategist, an intuitive pilot, and a mechanical artist. Because here, a 10-centimeter miscalculation isn't just inconvenient, it can be catastrophic. For drivers of super heavy and oversized trucks, climbing a mountain pass is not just a skill, it's a fusion of courage, experience, and mechanical mastery. In highland regions, there are stretches of road with continuous inclines exceeding 16 degrees, hairpin turns with only 40 to 50 centimeters between the tires, and sheer drops. Below lies a deep abyss. Above looms a gray sky. The cargo, steel structures, or massive industrial equipment weighing over 90 tons, doesn't just climb, it bounces on a razor's edge. Descending is even more perilous. Speeds must be kept below 10 kilometers per hour, requiring perfect coordination between air brakes, retarder brakes, engine braking, and precise gear shifting to avoid overheating or mechanical failure. A single misstep in braking can send the entire convoy into chaos. When the truck finally conquers the summit, what seems like a simple moment is in fact the hard-won victory over gravity, terrain, and fear. Large-scale construction projects often demand strict timelines. A single day's delay in transporting a key component could stall entire schedules. Yet, oversized trucks can't simply go faster. Faced with this double pressure, teams must plan every move down to the hour and rest stop. Weather changes, unexpected traffic, and mechanical issues are all real threats. Constant vehicle inspections, real-time monitoring via cameras and sensors, and contingency plans are mandatory to ensure both safety and punctuality. When $1 million piece of machinery is sitting on a trailer and a line of subcontractors is waiting to install it, there's no room for delays. But a 30-meter-long, 5-meter-wide oversized load doesn't overtake or accelerate like a compact van. It's a moving fortress navigating through narrow roads and countless risks. Rushing isn't an option. Each reckless second could cost dearly. Yet the schedule remains unforgiving. That's why every technical step is executed with discipline. Triple vehicle inspections daily, constant monitoring of tire pressure, brake temperature, and trailer tension. While supervisors push for progress, the driver team tightens the reins on safety. This isn't just logistics, it's a zero-mistake equation where there's no such thing as fix it later. Oversized trucks are not made for speed, but their deadlines demand precision like a bullet train. It's not just about moving forward, it's about calculating every variable. Departure hour, traffic windows, driver rest cycles, buffer times for mechanical issues. A loose bolt, a surprise roadblock, or a sudden downpour could throw off the entire plan. That's why the crew doesn't just hit the road, they simulate every journey, prepare response scenarios for each risk, and plan down to the last kilometer. This isn't transport anymore. It's military-grade coordination. In their world, being late by an hour is a failure, but arriving a minute early might be a fatal error. Successful oversized hauls require far more than just an experienced driver. Behind every mission is a specialized team: logistics engineers, route planners, traffic coordinators, and mobile technicians. They handle everything from securing special permits to temporarily halting traffic, or even relocating streetlights, power lines, or trees if needed. Every step includes backup options. Every risk is pre-identified. When a super heavy transport vehicle starts rolling, most people only see the driver. But behind that steering wheel is a full-scale logistics operation involving dozens of professionals. There are logistics engineers calculating load stress over every bridge, routing specialists analyzing tricky turns, traffic safety officers coordinating nighttime road closures, and on-road technicians ready to solve any unexpected issue. This journey is just the visible tip of the iceberg. Beneath it lies a precisely synchronized system operating like a Swiss watch. A 300-kilometer trip may have been in preparation for months, involving special permits down to the meter, plans to trim trees, lift power lines, or even dismantle parts of infrastructure to allow safe passage. There is no room for mistakes. Just one misstep can bring the entire convoy to a halt.
Those are cabins heading to the Sizewell power station. Alright, so that was police escorting a construction dump truck, an articulated hauler.
Transporting a supersized load is like moving an engineering project in motion. Behind it stands a dedicated team with exceptional expertise, from planners mapping routes on paper to field surveyors checking every slope and stream. Before the first wheel turns, dozens of permits must be secured, from the Department of Transport, electric utilities, green space managers, to local governments. Each time the convoy crosses a dense intersection, traffic flow may need to be temporarily halted. If there's a low-hanging cable or power line, support teams are already in place to raise it or redirect the route. Sometimes passing through just 1 kilometer of a historic district takes 3 days of preparation. The success of the mission doesn't depend on speed, but on perfect synchronization of people, machines, and a whole lot of problem-solving finesse.
So there's a pair of excavators on their way to the Sizewell project, that's Sizewell C, new nuclear power station. There's more of those construction site cabins.
The driver may hold the wheel, but it's the crew behind the scenes that keeps the mission alive. For every seemingly simple route, there may be dozens of hidden risks, each predicted and planned for. They create digital maps with 3D route simulations, notify local authorities in advance, request extended red lights, and arrange police escorts. They prepare cranes, lifters, and mobile repair units on standby, ready to act if the truck sinks into soft ground, a temporary bridge fails, or a braking system malfunctions. Every person is a critical link in the chain, and when everything runs as planned, the load can move through hundreds of kilometers uninterrupted. But that smoothness is only possible because of thousands of hours of meticulous planning by a team committed to absolute precision. Operating an oversized transport isn't about gut instinct or driver reflexes. It's a pre-programmed mission where the entire team follows a script down to the last detail. Every route has been surveyed, each stop precisely measured, and the entire schedule is calibrated to avoid traffic congestion. If it rains, an alternate route is ready. If an accident occurs, there's a backup plan and a mobile response unit already in place. Permits for nighttime travel, temporary power shutoffs, and municipal authorizations are all secured days or weeks in advance. In this world, there is no "we'll figure it out" on the way. The team doesn't wait for risks to happen. They eliminate them before the journey begins. Because transporting such critical cargo isn't just moving something, it's a high-level operation where control, prediction, and coordination are everything. Oversized transport is more than just technical execution. It's a test of courage and competence. It's where people combine knowledge, experience, and determination to conquer challenges that few other fields encounter. Each successful delivery is a quiet triumph, not just of the machine, but of the whole team behind it. These professionals move mountains on wheels, driving progress forward with each carefully measured turn.
All these axles are steerable in the back here, as you can see. They're using a little bit different configuration, and it steers in with these hydraulic arms. And there is a rear driver right here.